All right, we begin with the front pages of the papers this morning, but then again, we're seeing panic buying in few stations. People are rushing to buy fuel, and when are we ever going to come to an end with this whole fuel situation? One time it looks like there's fuel, and then next thing it looks like everybody's rushing to get, and. All right, let's start off with the front pages of Vanguard, and Vanguard is leading with Tinubu Obaseki in war of words over breakup comments. The writer says Obaseki misleading article leading PDP to electoral doom. That's coming from Tinubu. APC requires psychiatric evaluation. That's coming from Obaseki. We can see a photo story showing the Naira anniversary. Panic buying, cost of petrol queues. That's coming from federal government. Deal with saboteurs in fuel distribution. NLC others on page 9. How arrested Kuje prison escapee trigger terror at alert. A WhatsApp restore service after Nigeria, UK, 12 others experience outage. On page 8, 2023, PWDs, vulnerable group constitute 70% of voters. That's coming from INEC. Stories above. We have INEC to conduct Bayelsa, Imo, Kogi, Guba elections November 2023. How oil thieves escape detection. That's coming from NPAMD. Court nullifies APC primaries in Rivers, sacks candidates. CBN issues 2.1 billion naira e-naira to the three financial institutions. You can see that on page 19. On page 8, revealed, I am 43% Nigerian. That's come from Meghan Markle. Last year on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Insecurities. Zamfara lifts ban on political rallies. Reopens market in 3 local government areas. All right, let's take a look at the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian is leading with petrol nears a 200 naira per litre as ex-depot price. Debt, logistic escalates scarcity. The writer says a few queues will disappear in 48 hours. Moment says Ipman blames private depots for shortages. NMDPRA assures of robust supply. US to worsen petrol scarcity with proposed export ban. We have a Tinubu article absent as OB orders unveil agenda for women. Stories above. How rogue ships become invisible in Nigeria's waters. That's by NMPA. Jonathan canvasses constitutional rule for deputy governors. Court nullifies APC primaries in Rivers. And lastly, on the front page of the Guardian newspaper, Appeal Court clarifies the 21 justices transfer, says panel on Nnamdi Kanu not targeted. Punch is leading with jumbo severance package. Buhari, Osibajo orders to get 63 billion naira. Pensioners kick. The writer says ministers, governors, commissioner, National Assembly members, special advisors to benefit. It's inhumane. Pensioners who worked for 35 years not paid for 10 years. That's coming from the union. Economists slam politicians say they are insensitive. RMFAC to review remuneration. We can see a photo story showing Lagos, Abuja, fuel scarcity grounds, Lagos, Ogun, Abuja, commuters stranded. Lagos Ibadan bridge joins reopen. Driver slammed Julius Berger. You can see that on pages 4 and 5. On pages 4 and 5 still, Max gunmen abduct Lagos motorists in broad daylight. Bayelsa, Imo, Kogi, governorship polls hold November 11. Stories above. Tinubu Obi unfolds agenda for women, article absent. Flooding, federal government plans intervention fund, 312 killed. British PM Sunak sets economic stability agenda. And that's all we can take on the front pages of the papers this morning. Join us after the break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. If you're just joining, it's still today in the news on Vanguard Life. I am Precious Chukudi. Joining me to talk about some of the stories on the front pages of the papers this morning is Mr. Gbenro Oladrigbe. He's the Executive Director of Emergency and Risk Alert. Good morning, sir. It's good to have you join me this morning.
It's a pleasure being with you. Thank you.
All right, let's talk about petrol. We're seeing panic buying and the queues is back. Now, according to the chairman of MoMAN, Mr. Olumide Adeosun, You know, he said that there is a slowdown in the delivery going to Apapa Jetty in Lagos, hence the reason for panic buying. What's your take?
Well, they can give different reasons. I don't want to believe any one of them. The IPMA man gave a reason that it was because of the increment from the private tank farm that caused that hike in price and possibly the scarcity. But the challenge, we can say whatever we want. If we don't refine petroleum in Nigeria, there is no solution out of this problem. If it is not landing cost, it will be farm tank cost. It will be this cost. The fact is that we are not a serious people. If we are serious, this is not the problem we should be facing at this particular time. As a matter of fact, if we have been refining our products, this petroleum product, we should be exporting the refined product by now, taking advantage of this global increase in price of oil. But we are not benefiting from anything. Rather, we are paying by importing what we should be exporting. And at the same time, we don't have people that are patriotic and nationalistic to the extent that that can trigger reflection on how can we exist as a country, oil-producing country, that cannot refine the product and at the same time make the product available for our people here. So as long as we don't refine, there will be problem. As long as we continue, if they don't talk of landing costs today, they will talk of tank farm price increment tomorrow. So we are at the mercy of these buccaneers who call themselves oil magnates. We are at their mercy. They can do anything and there is no protection. The consumers are not protected, even by the government. So I don't think government even give a hoot. This situation we are feeling in Lagos, I've been in for the past 6 weeks in Abuja. It has been going on. And the government said that, okay, it was because of flood in Lokoja. Tanker could not cross the bridge. That was the reason then. But now it's everywhere. If you go to Ondo, there is fuel scarcity there. It's almost ubiquitous. And they continue to deceive Nigeria. How do you have enough product? NNPC was saying people should not panic, they have enough product. Is that the issue? Why are the product not in the market? Market is not, accessibility is essential to what you have. Is the fuel accessible now? I've just told you for the past 6 weeks, if not more, it has been the situation in Abuja. It's only that it's complicated now. And it's in Lagos already since yesterday. Of course, in Akure, in other parts of the country. And we continue to exist as human beings. As if you can't plan, how do you plan? As a business person under this, you just wake up one day, how do you even plan as a worker? Because if you want to go, the cost of transportation has gone up astronomically relative to what you are having now. So we have a lot of challenge as a country, but we are not frontally facing anyone. Anyone in the sense that is unheard of in the world. It defeats every development economic logic that a country will be producing oil and will still be exporting. A country that is exporting oil is importing refined products. Who does that in the world and expect to grow or develop? So we are antithetical. All our policies are antithetical to development, antithetical to prosperity, antithetical to even stability and peace. Do they know the implication of this for people? For people that are that have engagements one way or the other, appointments one way or the other, and you can't make headway out of this. And flight is no go area. Jet A1 is problem that has skyrocketed the cost of flight in the country. We are not doing anything about everything, and we continue to live as if we are just here to play in the world and look at other people. Have you had in any oil producing country whether even Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, that they're having this type of problem we have almost every time. And we are not ashamed as a government and equally as a people. Because if you are at times, you blame government for not doing what is right. But when you have a large population of people that have accepted docility as a way of engagement, then there's no hope for such country. The government cannot be responsible and responsive if there is no active citizenry who can put pressure on government that no, enough is enough. We can't take this and make demand on their government. It's foolishness. When they see any Nigeria elsewhere, it looks foolish and sounds foolish outside. When they ask you, you are exporting nation, producing an exporting nation, yet you don't have so, and this is the cardinal where you source the major part of our revenue from, and we're treating it like this. We are not even talking of the oil theft, but the common one to even use to refine it and retain a dollar. Our country has fallen. Do they think the naira? Do they think naira fell for nothing? It's because of this attitude, nonchalant attitude of the government to make sure that you look at your economic parameter and address the problem there, particularly the central one,
yes,
like that of petroleum products.
Yes, so you made mention of the fact that we're not refining, our own petroleum products here. But why exactly do you think the government is not looking into that?
Corruption. It's because they are benefiting from importing. There's no other thing. It's corruption, round tripping, deceiving themselves that they are paying a subsidy for phony fuel that never gets to the port of Nigeria. It's corruption. And is it not one person that is building a refinery now? One human being. And you have a country that cannot boast of a functioning one. And an individual is building it. And this government has been in existence for how long now? Government that promised to build 4 refineries in 4 years cannot even build one in 8 years. And we kept quiet. We are comfortable. We are docile. We are complacent. So are we not part of anybody? If you have a citizen like that we have in Nigeria, we are no longer victims of our problem. We are accomplices in committing the crime that is putting us under this wreckage and bondage of oppressive economy.
All right. According to reports, we are hearing that some independent marketers are now selling petrol between 190 to 230 per liter at their outlets, and also transporters are also threatening that they would increase price. But there are questions that people are always asking, because if you've noticed, it looks like it's a pattern that whenever we're getting close to the ember months, there's always like fuel scarcity. They would pump up different kind of excuses as a result of why they feel like there should be shortages and whatever. What are your thoughts on this one?
Because we are uniquely we are irresponsible. We are uniquely irresponsible. If you go anywhere now, particularly UK, any Europe country, what you see in the market, whether supermarket, is price slash on almost everything. Every year, when you are getting to season like this, like Christmas and everything, every shop, everything will be announcing 50% price slash, this slash on almost every commodity. But even the one we have here, you must suffer. What don't we suffer for in Nigeria? Pass through Nigeria road and see the meaning of agony. Even for flight, you have 30 minutes flight. In fact, the other time, I was going to Jos, 25 minutes from Abuja to this thing. After paying the humongous money, I have to be there for 4 hours, another 4 hours. So what we suffer for almost everything in life. This is a country that has never enjoyed before. All leaders will come and ask Nigeria to make useless sacrifice. Nigeria will be punished, diminished, decimated, and at the end of the day, there is no result to show for it. And to worsen our case, Look, we are running, this government particularly is running hallucinated economy that's used the future to pay for the present. We have outborrowed every common sense. We have outborrowed our revenue. Today we are paying this thing, and this government is still. We are still talking of importing fuel that we should have conserved the dollar by refining here. So it's not a journey we are going to end, and the tragedy will continue as long as we don't have active citizens who can make effective demand on a government they call democratic government. So I really don't know what has happened to Nigeria, that everybody keep quiet. This thing can happen. The government was incompetent. The prime minister agreed that he was not able to carry out the mandate she was elected to carry out in UK. Within 45 days, she resigned her appointment. And here we are talking of a very extreme incompetent government for 7 years, no solution to anything. And we keep quiet, and we are not putting pressure on that government to perform, even within the next time that he has. And this is a government that is always talking of, in the middle of emergency, talking of having plan in place within that 90 days, without doing anything to even responding to the immediate needs of those that are already affected. Haba.
All right, Mr. Agbero, let's move ahead and talk about this one. Now, there have been, various reactions over Governor Obaseki's comment that Nigeria would break up if Tinubu wins the 2023 presidential election. And, he went as far as also saying that the APC party needs a psychiatric evaluation. What are your thoughts on this one?
No, he said that anybody that votes for APC needs to examine his brain. Anybody that, and I agree with him, because how do you justify a situation where you buy rice 8,500 in 2015 and you are buying the same 50 kg bag of rice for close to 15,000 naira now? How do you justify that? How do you justify buying petroleum product we are talking for 85 naira and we are talking of over 200 naira now because of the current problem, and before the current problem 180? How do you justify that? What do you know what has happened to the cost of living in Nigeria? People cannot adjust. People are not existing. They are not living. They are barely existing. It is survival, and it is dangerous for stability. It is dangerous for peace. It's anarchical. If a government, if you are deceived the first time with what they call change, the second time with next level, and somebody is coming up with renewed hope, where is the hope that is renewed?
Mr. Agbero,
from where he got the hope? Because before you renew something, there must have been hope.
All right, Mr. Agbero, are you going to say that is this a party problem or an individual problem? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Mr. Agbero?
It's a party problem. You know, it's a collective. Hello, yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead, please.
It's collective responsibility. Party common. Nigeria voted for party, and the party is collective of human beings who make up the party. Did Tinubu not campaign that Buhari will solve Nigeria economic problem? Didn't he campaign? So he was telling Nigerian lies at that time. He didn't know that he won't solve the problem, that he will address security problem. Didn't he campaign? He led the campaign as their so-called national leader. So what solution has he not? If he has a solution, he wouldn't have helped or supported his government or his party in power if he has any solution at all. So what are we saying? We must begin to look. There's what you call collective responsibility for a particular issue, and you are collectively accountable for what your country has written. Do you think Democrats in UK in US will put Americans under this type of bandage, and they will be stupid to re-elect Democrats?
All right, it's quite unfortunate we lost our guest due to network glitches. All right, so let's take Mr. and Mrs. Before we go. And Mrs. seems to be with a friend today. She says, I know your husband has done so many wonderful things in your relationship. What explanation did he give for buying a 24 feet by 24 feet bed? And Mrs. Friend is speaking. She says, he said something about creating a level playing field. This is really funny, a level playing field. All right, let's just move on to, you guys should follow all our social media platforms on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Also, our YouTube channel is showing on your screen. To find up-to-date stories, you can go to our website, www.vanguardngl.com, to find out more. I am Precious Chukudi, and thank you for watching.